So, all right. Good afternoon, or whatever time you're watching this video through the magic of technología. Um, you can see it whenever you see it. So I thought I'd get something done that I've been planning to get done for a while. I had a conversation with a friend of mine, and I've had this conversation with different people at several times, and it's more of a rant session. And first moving here, one of the challenges was moving money. How do I move money from my American account to where I live? So let me give a backstory for those that may not know me, so that I'm not coming in so far in the middle of the story. But I live full-time in Ecuador. And after living full-time in the United States, and many people that may live abroad may have this experience of going to the ATM and having that ATM charge you, and then having your home bank charge you. There's some accounts, Charles Schwab, there's some banks that will reimburse that. Mine was not one of them. So the backstory is, when I moved to Ecuador, I only had one account left in the United States. And it happens to be a Wells Fargo account. And each month I would go to the ATM, get money out. And most ATMs limit you. You check around, you see which ones can give you the most, so that you know how much you can get out at one time. Many of them $500. I found that in my area, I think it was Banco Astro, would let me take out $600 at one time. But if you are trying to pay bills and have money for the rest of the month, you might have to do that a couple of times. Or if you take out enough for the bills, but then didn't take out enough for spending money, you might have to do that a couple of times a month. If you run out of spending money, you might have to go back. And what I was realizing was, each transaction was costing me about $10. And I was irritated just on principle. It's my money, and to pay to get my money out, and $40 in a month or $50 in a month, but usually I think it was running me about $40 a month. That goes a long way. That's 2 weeks worth of groceries. That's a trip to the spa. That's an excursion trip. We have a lot of guided tours. That's an excursion trip. $40 goes a long way in Ecuador. But even if it didn't, if I was back in the States, $40, that would be lunch out. That would be, gas money. It would be something that was critical. Doesn't matter what it was. I didn't want to pay it. And so I began really searching for a way to not have to pay money to get my own money. Now, one of the things that I did was that I moved so that my money is here in country, but I still have situations where I need to move US money to Ecuador. This is probably not a solution for everyone. This, let me give some kind of, okay, what's the setup? This is for someone who may be living in another country and have a bank account there. I have a bank account. I have several bank accounts here in Ecuador where money can be moved here in country. I have used this method when I was traveling. My last birthday trip, on day one of my birthday trip, my wallet got stolen. And including my starter cash. You start out on the trip and you got some cash tucked. I hit the ATM at the airport in Guayaquil before leaving Ecuador. And it was stolen day one of my trip. And so I use this exact same method, because you can also use it to send money to Western Union. Kind of works with M-Pesa, so it depends on what country you're in, but Western Union is one way that you can actually send money from that account and then be able to pick it up. But today, I'm going to talk primarily about and kind of walk you through. I've got my screens. If I can manage my technology, I'll show you in real time what I actually do. So this is for someone who has bank account, business or personal account in the United States, trying to move money to a bank account that you have in a foreign country. This also works if you need to pay someone in a foreign country who has a bank account and you're moving money or paying from a US account. I've used it in several scenarios, and that's another one that I've used it. I needed to pay something. I wanted to pay it out of an account that I had in the United States, and they have a bank account. So those are kind of the parameters. It might work in other situations, but play with it and see what happens to you. Also want to say that I'll tell you about the apps that I use to be able to do this. So the two that are really important for this particular way that I do it is PayPal and Xoom, XOOM, which is PayPal's international money movement system. So you've got to have those two accounts set up. You have those two accounts set up. PayPal, if you've ever used it, you may know you can move money into it. So you can have money moved from your account into PayPal, and then you can do whatever you want to with PayPal. I currently have a US bank account. I also have Cash App, Venmo, Zelle Access, and what's the other one? Cash App, I guess PayPal. PayPal would be the other one. So I have those systems too, so that sometimes I can have, if someone's paying me or something like that, they can put money into one of those systems, and then I can move that into PayPal. Sometimes, depending on the system, I have to put it into my bank account and then go from my bank account into that. The way that I avoid fees in that kind of regard is sometimes they'll do it instantly, or sometimes you can wait 2 or 3 days to have your money move and it doesn't cost you anything. I try not to get into any kind of urgency. And so oftentimes if I'm moving something from, say, Cash App, I'd move it from Cash App into my bank, the slow route, 2 days or so, a couple of business days, and then move that money into PayPal. So I'm just going to walk you through with the screens on what I do. I'll try to explain it step by step. And yeah, I'll try to explain it step by step. I'll try to show you on the screen in real time. I went into my account, put some, make sure I had some money here so that I can move it and show you all of the steps. So let me get started with that. And I'm going to go to my PayPal account, and I'll start sharing that screen with you. Okay, so here I am. Let me get my technology where I can see what I'm seeing or what you're seeing so that I know where to be. And I'm going to just simply log into my account. This is, again, you've got your account set up. And you're going to just log into your PayPal account. You're going to log in and you're going to realize I got nothing in there right now because I wanted to be able to show you my PayPal balance right there. And I already have a bank account linked to this. And so I'm going to add money. So I just clicked on the 3 dots right there, add money. If you've already got money in the account, your balance will be here. But let's just say you don't, and you're just using it as a pass-through. And I'm just going to add $100. And in this case, because I have my debit card of my bank account attached, it doesn't cost me anything to move it instantly. Or relatively quick in just a few seconds. So this is my debit card that's tied to my bank account. And I'm trying to think now, do I have my card turned off? If I do, you got to give me a minute to go fix that. But sometimes I just turn it off when I know I'm not using it for a while. But I'm going to assume that it's open, and we'll see if we can do this on the first try. And as you can see, there's no fees. And so I've got this one selected. Other ways, you could move it slowly if you were going straight from a bank account, but because I have this card tied to that, and you can go there if you want to change to a different funding account. And then I'm just going to say add this $100 now, and I'll click that button. And in just a few seconds, my PayPal account will now have $100. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back to my home. Okay, and if you, oops, I didn't mean to click on that advertisement. So let me try to back out. And as you can see right now, I have $100 in my account. And so this is sitting in my PayPal account coming from my US Wells Fargo bank account. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is money's in my PayPal account. The next thing I'm going to do, and this is kind of the magic sauce of this whole thing, is I'm going to go to PayPal, and PayPal has an option for crypto. You don't have to know anything about crypto. I only know a very limited amount about crypto. I know how to do what I need to do with it. This is pretty much the only crypto that I do with, because I don't understand it enough, and just, yeah, not my area of expertise. Okay, so you go to that crypto page, and that was just, let me see if I can kind of toggle you back and forth so you see. If you look at, I'm opening my screen up to the full screen, and the button says crypto, and you can just go there to crypto. Okay, so I'm now there in PayPal's crypto, and I want to buy. What to buy? And it gives you options. You can buy, there's several types of crypto. None of those are relevant except for the PayPal USD. It's PayPal's crypto. And this is the important part. $1, 0%. There's no markup. It's not going up and down. A dollar's a dollar. And so it's really just, it's equivalent to what your money is. And so that's what I'm going to buy. And I'm going to buy $100 worth of crypto. And I'm going to use my bank balance. Now, I usually put it in there first. I like to see it move and only have this account tied to the PayPal crypto, but it gives you some options. It gives you options for whatever else is on your account as payment methods, or you can link a new debit card or bank account to be able to do this. I always put it in my PayPal account. I just like that separation. Again, if you'd like to play with it, it does give you those options. And so then I select that and I click next. I check this. If you've clicked on something else, it's not going to be this one-to-one. $1 equals 1 PayPal USD in their crypto. And so I then select the buy now. Bingo, bango. Wait for it to do. It asks you about recurring. Nope, I want to do it when I want to do it. And it takes you back to that screen. And I want to go back now to my main PayPal screen to show you that I now have no money in my PayPal account, but I do have a crypto balance. I got $1.03. I don't even know how that happened, but whatever, it's there. So money is moved out of my PayPal account. It's now in crypto. Great. That's all you're going to do really in PayPal. Now, the next thing you do, this is the second app that I told you. This is where PayPal does international money movement in different ways. I pull up Zoom, XOOM, not the web video conferencing thing. And then because I just have my passwords like that on my computer, I just log in with my PayPal, but you log in however you log in. I'm going to log in with my PayPal information, and boom, boom, boom. Through the magic of my computer's mind, it knows my password and logs me in. Now, the very first thing I did when I first did this, I set myself up as a contact. So I go here to contacts, and you want to add a new contact. And this is the part where it asks you for your account number. I think when I initially set it up, I went online to make sure I had the right routing number, and then I went into my banking app and had it show me the actual account number and put that information in. So I'm already in my system as one of my contacts. You can see here it says, oh, let me share this. I'm sorry. Let's see. Share this tab instead. Let me go back to the login. I forgot to flip over. So let me see if I can replicate it. So this is the login screen that I get. And I just log in with my PayPal password because it's in the system that way. That's usually what I do. I click on that, but you can also set it up with your Zoom password and use that. You can use either of those. I don't know what it did. It showed me an error message that time. Fluke. So contacts is right here. The first thing you want to do is set yourself up as a contact. And this is where you'll need to put in this is my Ecuadorian banking information. Let's see. I don't want to mess it up. So I'm not going to delete it and put it back in. Let's see. I was trying to see how you add. Oh, I know what it was. You go down to the drop in. You go here, send to an existing contact. No. Anyway, put yourself in as a contact. That's the important part. Go to your contacts, add in yourself as a person. So make sure you have your banking account information in your foreign country. And in this case, we're going to send $100. And I'm going to send 100 USDs. And because it knows where my account is, it knows that that's going to be 100 USDs that it's going to receive, because Ecuador uses the US dollar. Now, this is what I just encourage you to pay attention to. It's gonna, you see there where it's a transaction fee. That's what I don't want to pay. So right now it's set to pay with my PayPal balance. Well, there's nothing in my PayPal balance. There's the $100 in my crypto account. So I'm going to go and continue to review, but like before you hit the final send, to make sure you're not paying fees. If you're paying fees, then you have missed this step. This is the step that's very important. Choose a way to pay. If you notice, if I were to pay with my MasterCard or PayPal or my bank account or my Visa card, there's a $4 to $5 fee. This one, if you go straight from your bank account, it's $5.34. This one, the rest of the options are $4.91. But if you pay with PayPal USD, and this is the magic, there is no fee. So I always make sure I do this step. You can add new payment methods there, but the whole point of this is being able to do it without being charged. And so PayPal USD is what we converted that $100 to from PayPal. If you get to that point of the final save and you see fees, you may have missed that. And so it tells you this is the next step. So you got to sell those the PayPal USD to continue. You're selling $100 of PayPal USD, $1 US equals one PayPal USD, no fee. So $100 sold gives you $100. The $100 of crypto we just bought, we're now going to sell. So this is a step that you do because we've selected to use my PayPal USD. Now, if you do this and sell your PayPal USD and then don't finish the transaction, your PayPal account will have that $100 back in it instead of the crypto. And you have to go back to PayPal and make sure that you rebuy $100 of the crypto. Because if the money's in the PayPal account, they charge you a fee. If they sell your crypto PayPal, oh no. Okay. Why does my address need to be updated? Okay. Let me update my address. Why is that? Did not expect. Optional 2. Let me go. Let's see. Let me try this. Optional. Oh, wrong phone number. Normally this doesn't happen. I don't know what I need to update. Well, maternal last name. Maternal last name. Please include maternal last name. I don't know why this is doing this today. This is the problem sometimes. That sometimes things come up. It's set up the same way it's been set up for a long time. And so maybe I can, maybe I can't show you. This is the problem I've had. One of my friends, I was showing, my account did it fine, hers didn't. And sometimes you can't figure it out. A valid phone number is required, 7 digits for residential, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't know why it's asking me for something. I don't know what it's asking me to update. So something's required and it's not telling me. So maybe I can't show you today. Okay. Please include maternal last name if it appears on your recipient's ID or bank account. And this is My name as it appears on my bank account. Yeah, I don't think it is, but this is where now I start changing stuff and then I end up with real problems. Okay. So this is the dilemma that sometimes technology just changes. This is what I have set up. Let me go look. I'm gonna go look at my bank account and see if I'm gonna look at the wording exactly of how my ID shows up. This may be a glitch because it doesn't say what's required. Something's required. It doesn't tell me what it's asking for or what the deficiency is. Let me repeat the phone number. Okay. So this may be a glitch because that happens sometimes. So I'm going to go into my bank account offline and just double check my name. This is some of the frustrations. Like it can work perfectly every single time you do it. And then one time it doesn't because something's changed. And that's just part of it. Okay, I'm going to go to my account. I'm going to look at my thing. No, it's got it the way I've got it. Because nothing's changed. And okay, so what I'm going to do, this is what I do. I'm going to go look at my PayPal to see if the crypto has been sold. I'm going to log out and then log back in because sometimes this is what happens. Okay, so let me now go back because if that happens, this is a really good real-time example. If that happens, then because I've already gone to the sale, that money is no longer in my crypto account. It's back in my PayPal account. So I go back down, I select the crypto again, and I do the process again. I log in to my PayPal account. I go back and buy the crypto, and this happens in real time. This happens in real time. And so I try not to be in a situation where I'm in a crisis and need to move money from one account to another. Because whatever it's asking me to do, I don't know how to do, or it's not telling me what the error is. All right, so we're rebuying the crypto. Good lesson. And then I'm going to go back to share this tab instead, my Zoom account. I'm going to log back in. Going to log in, and we're going to just try it again. These are real life issues that happen. So something may be happening because each time I'm logging in, it's giving me that error code. And so let's try it again. Correct the amount. I look and there's a fee on there. I don't want to pay that fee. I want to make sure that I select this and see if we can get back and bypass that. I'm going to sell my crypto. And as you can see, like this happens in real time. There's not a real lot lag or wait time. Disbursement details to proceed with it. The address cannot be blank, okay? Okay, so let's see. I updated the address information. Okay, let me do this off. Okay, let's see what it's asking me. Cuenca, Aswai. It's asking for my address, but it's still giving me some problem. So this may be a situation that I can't compensate for. So sometimes this happens and you just have to call them and ask what the issue is. I'm going to go back to my contacts and see if I might have selected a different contact. I think I have myself in there several times. That's why sometimes I don't like to meddle with my stuff. Like I know which account is the right one. Under my contacts, I have myself in several times. And I think in setting up for this, I want to just check and make sure that I haven't taken that out. And if I have and I can't figure out, then it'll be another day that I have to do this video for my friend and walk her through it. Because let's see, settings, contacts. And I'm going to see if I can, I have myself listed several times. And send, let's see. This may be one of those things, since this is real time, that comes up. Something changes in the technology or in what I'm, the way I've done it, or just a different day. I try to keep my account information set in there, but this is asking like for an address verification or correction of some sort. And that's a problem because then it's not taking that information from me. So we're doing this in real time. It's like you're here with me and we're fiddling. And I'm gonna go back to, I'm in my Zoom kind of offline. And I'm just double checking that I've selected the right account. I have. And I've checked my bank information. It should be accurate because I haven't changed anything, but it's asking for my bank account address information. And so I'm trying to figure out why it's not taking the address that's already in the account since I haven't changed it. Your bank deposit information needs to be updated. Please edit your disbursement details to proceed. The address cannot be blank. So it's blanking out my address. Okay. And it is not accepting that. Okay, so this is one of those situations where I just don't know and I got to call them. So there will be a part 2 to this. If you get this far, the next step is to just send the money. But I obviously can't show you because there's some address confliction now with my account. And I don't know if that's my Zoom account or my, you can view and delete here. I'm looking at my individual contact information. And my contact information is still showing accurate. My phone number is entered accurate. Actually, my phone number is not in there accurate. So, contacts. So I don't know. So now I'm fiddling. Because sometimes that is, something's changed and you can't figure it out. And that's what's happening. You want to do it? Okay, so I'm going here. And now I'm just going as if I'm sending and see if it will let me add a whole new contact. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but we'll see. Okay, so I've chosen that I'm going to send to Ecuador. And my bank happens to be Banco Guayaquil. And let's see if I do this new. Choose your bank. So this is just like setting up new information. Okay, so hold on. I'm going to take this screen offline. Let me go back and find my bank account number again. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing that screen for a moment. Or let me just switch over to a different screen, share that tab instead, because I don't necessarily want all my account information out there. Although we give out our account number information freely here. If someone wants to bank transfer you. And so I put my account number in. Nope. And it's a savings account. Okay, let me just double check my account number. 003. This is kind of some of the wonkiness of living internationally, that you just kind of run into these kind of situations. I'm trying to see if it will let me put it in as a new contact and see if that clears up the, oh, it's taking out my phone number was too long. Let's see if that works. Okay, so let me go back to, okay, so let me tell you where we're at. I just put it in as a new. I realize now when I put it in the second time, and sometimes trial and error really is the way you have to do it. And I realized that it was asking for my phone number to be in a 9-digit format. I had put in my country code. When I went to go put myself in again, it already had my phone number, I guess, from the memory as a 9-digit number. Okay, so let me come back to this screen. Let's see if we can get through. Okay, this is where I kind of got hung up. Share this tab instead. Okay, so I've got this in there. I had put my country code in here, and that may be what it was giving me issues with. So we're going to try this again. Okay, so I started this transaction before I had put the money back into crypto, because again, every time you sell that crypto, you got to go back. So this is some of the looping that I do. Okay, like, okay. Well, now I don't know if that's a new contact in there. Let's try this again. Let me just log out and go straight from the start. Okay. And I'll see whichever of my contacts is at the top, and then make sure that number, the phone number, is entered in that way. And let's just see if that gets us, bypasses it. Otherwise, I've got to make sure I do this while the money's in the crypto. Okay. Let's try it again. Let's see if we can fix the phone number situation. Back to the $100. This was going to be so quick, but this is real life. Okay, now it gives me the PayPal USD option. That one, there's no fee option, because that's the whole point of this, okay? And now I'm going to sell that crypto. I'm not sure now which contact, because now I've probably double entered myself in the contact. Let's try the address again, and let's go fix that phone number. And let's just see if this is going to work this time. No. Okay. Let's go back again. This is some of the trial and error, so I'm still in the old one. Okay. Let's try this again. We're going to do this one more time, and if not, then I'll have to call and see if something's not set correctly in my account with that contact. And then I'll have to do a part 2, or just redo the process when I can get it to go through successfully. Okay. Repurchase the crypto. That's what I'm doing behind the scenes. And let me just go here. Let's try this again. Let's try this again. Whatever that address thing is that's happening, it's giving me some grief today. So just trying to send $100 to myself and not pay for it. Okay, Banco Guayaquil. Bank deposit. I'm gonna go here. And I'm gonna find my bank again. Let's see if we can get success. I'm going to, for a moment, stop sharing that so that my account information is not all over the internet. And then try not to call my numbers out loud. It's my savings account. I click on next. And see. Let's try that. My province, I live in the state of Azua, and I think I don't know why it accepts it that way, but it does. And so that's what we're going to do. Normally my contact works. For whatever reason, there's something that's not correct, and it's not letting me bypass that. So I just went from the main page and didn't use my contact information. Now I'm selecting the PayPal with no fee, and let's just see if this works this time. Normally I don't have to do this step. And so I go through, it's accepted that information with my address. As it's almost like you're setting it up new. And then what it says is review and send. So imagine all that in between didn't happen. Whatever's happening with my contact information, I skipped it and just went from the start to finish, put my account number in. I don't want to put it in each time because sometimes, there's an error. So I like to put it in. I know it works and keep going, but this is the bypass today. And so what it says is you're going to this bank. This is the person and bank, me. This is how much I'm sending. This is how much is going to be received. And 6:25, I think that's GMT5 time is what it says. And what I'm going to do is I'm paying with my PayPal balance now because it sold the crypto. This is the only place where you want it to say PayPal balance because it just sold the crypto. When you sell the crypto, it puts it back in your PayPal. But if you do it that way with that crypto link, it doesn't charge you a fee. If I'd gone straight from my PayPal account, it would have been that $4.91 or $5 and some fee, depending on, which of those fees it was. And so I just go and make sure that's the thing. That's how much I'm sending, no fees. That's the important part. And then I click send. And then what it does is it gives you an option of whether or not you want the alerts. And I do. I don't know why it's erasing my phone number this time, but whatever the case. And I basically send it to myself. I put my US phone number in as the sender. I put my Ecuador. So I get double text, and then I receive text updates. And this is your tracking information. And then you just click done. And that's it. Now, I want to go back and I want to look at my transaction. And then you wait. And what'll happen is in a few minutes, in just a short while, I'll actually get an alert on my phone. And this is what I'm looking at, 5:07. That's 1 minute ago. The payment has been confirmed. And it's going to get ready. Okay, there's a text message. So this is real time. There's a text message that says, Zoom, $100 for Lorana is on its way to Banco Guayaquil, on track for a July 8th arrival. And so this tracking lets you track in real time. And when this gets updated, it'll show you that it's sent, but I also get the alerts. And so sometimes I've had it move as quick as 2 or 3 minutes. Sometimes probably the longest has been about 30 minutes, 30 minutes to an hour, but usually it's within just a few minutes. So if I'm trying to, go to the bank or make a transaction or whatever, I can just move it right in there, and then that money will arrive shortly. And this transaction, as you can see, it didn't cost me anything to buy the crypto. It didn't cost me anything to send the money so it cost me nothing to send it from my Wells Fargo account into PayPal. It cost me nothing to go from PayPal to the crypto, the PayPal USD. It cost me nothing to go into Zoom using my crypto and then send that money to my Ecuador bank account. Okay, and it says, Zoom, your transfer is complete. So when I just got the text message and I refresh this screen, and in just, 2 minutes, that money is now in my Banco Guayaquil account. Let me open up my app, and bingo, bango, the money's in my bank account. Like literally, it's right in my bank account right now. So take you back through the steps was to go into your PayPal. However you move money into your PayPal, move money into PayPal. Then let me go to the home screen, and I'll kind of just point you through it. And even with the glitches with why that, I don't know why my contact of myself wasn't working. It was saying your address or something. It like has zeroed out my address information and then it wasn't taking it when I put it in. I don't know. But I start here. You want to have money in your PayPal balance. Then you go here. Let's see. I'm sharing the wrong tab. Share this tab instead. You want to put money into your PayPal balance. Then you'll click this button here that says crypto. You go buy the amount of crypto that you're going to be sending to yourself. And you want to buy the PayPal USD. You click the buy button and you choose the PayPal USD. You tell it how much. You just go here and tell it how much. You could send $500. You could send $250, whatever you say there. And then it gives you an option of doing recurring. So if you have maybe some people are retired, you have Social Security that goes into your US account and it goes at the same time every month, you can set this up as a recurring every month, or every week or whatever the case may be. I never do that. I'm usually sending a one-off, so a one-time payment. Once you do that, it asks how to fund it and then you buy. When you do that, you'll go back and your crypto account will show that balance. Once you do that, you're going to go into your Zoom account, and that's Zoom, XOOM. You're going to, if you've already added yourself as a contact, you're going to add yourself as a contact. If you're going to do this on a recurring basis. If not, you just go to the main page. If you want to put your account information in every time, you go to the main page, you tell it what country you're sending to. In this case, I've got it. It's where it automatically knows Ecuador, but let's see if I can get to the main page because this works for other countries. I've used this in Egypt and Kenya. I can't remember where else. Anyway, Zoom. Okay, and then why it keeps taking me to the, okay. US dollars. You tell it how much you're going to send, and you send now. And then it gives you the option. If you want to change your country, it gives you a list of all the different countries that you can use. I've used a couple of the other countries while I was traveling and I had my wallet stolen and needed to send money. So you would go there and select the country where your bank account is that you're trying to send it to, because different countries have different conversion rates. If I wanted to send it to Mexico, for instance, and I was going to send to, let's say, that same $100 to Mexico, it's going to tell me what that conversion rate is. So you want to definitely check that. So $1 US is equal to 17.1573. Different ways of sending it gives you different exchange rates. Okay, so that when I was sending it internationally, it made a difference on the exchange rate. So these two are the same, but if you're moving it from a mobile wallet, it usually will give you some options in country. Then that exchange rate is not quite as good. If somebody's doing a cash pickup, for instance, the exchange rate's just a little bit lower than if it's going into a bank deposit. So that's what you would do if you're not in Ecuador. You were seeing kind of what happens in Ecuador, but you do that step. You then make sure that you change the way that you're paying it to PayPal USD. You make sure that you sell the PayPal USD. And then the next step is to make that final payment. And then when you get to the very end of that process, it asks you if you want text alerts. I always say yes, because then I can track how soon that money moves in there. And yeah, that's how I send money for free. And so that $40 goes into my play fund. It goes into lots of other things that I would rather spend my $40 on. And I've been doing this way now for the past, I think about 2 years in, year and a half, 2 years in, when I realized, or actually it wasn't a realization, Zoom just, the interchange started doing this with international payments. At first, it wouldn't let me, initially I could do something, I could link my card at one point to PayPal, and then that stopped. So then I had to go into the Zoom platform to do that. I think I stopped being able to link my international card and move money through that. There was something that happened, kind of like that verification process or something, and then PayPal no longer let me do that or whatever. Maybe maybe I could send money to the US, but it's harder to get it here. Anyway, it was complicated. It was complicated. But Zoom has been my regular way of being able to move my money for free. And that gives me joy because I didn't like paying to do that. Some people here have bank accounts that will reimburse it. I think Charles Schwab, there's another credit union I hear people talk about in the US. But if you don't have that account set up there, like I'm not going back to the United States to set up that kind of account. And I think it's reimbursement. So they still take the money out of your account. This just avoids that altogether. And it lets me move money, any money that I can move into my PayPal account, I can move this way. I really like that it's super fast. I really like that it doesn't cost me anything. I can't stress that enough. $40 here is a lot because I can eat lunch for $3. I can go get an almuerzo for $3. So that's like lunch every other day if I wanted to eat out. I don't eat out that often, but I could on that $40 that I was spending every month. Yeah. And so choices. So if you are living in a foreign country, be patient because technology, as you could see, like in real time, the contact that I've been using for the past 2 years, all of a sudden is not working because it's not taking my address. And then I put the address in and it still won't take it. And then I fix the phone number and it still won't take it. So then I just go in like I'm new. And the very same information that I'm putting in, it takes. And so for me, it didn't even ask for the routing. It asked for your bank and then your account number. And then whether it's a checking or savings account. And the address information and phone number went in fine when I did it that way. So next time I'll see if I just need to delete the contact maybe and put it in afresh. I don't know. Things like that happen. So don't get into like the last minute situation because you can't control technology. But in general, I usually don't have that trip up. And usually in just the time that you saw, when we finally put it in that way, 2 minutes for that money to be transferred, which means I don't have to leave my house too. That's the other part. I don't have to leave home. The old way I had to go. So I either get on the bus or take a taxi to the 8th. So that was an extra fee. If I took a taxi, the closest, my bank is about maybe $3. If I went to Monai Shopping Center where my bank has an ATM, I would go to the neighborhood bank and the fees would be the same. My bank, I usually wouldn't use my US card at my bank because they would sometimes limit me to $300. So I would go to one of the other banks. I kind of tested. One would give me $5 or one would give me $600 at a time. And I could go and get that. And then I could do it twice. Like if you need $1,000, maybe you're going to pay all your bills for the month and you want your grocery money and you're putting money into your bank for like your health insurance or whatever. Your disposable income money, you might have to, depending on how much you typically, use in a month, you might have to do that a couple of times. I think I could do it twice at a time. So I could go get, if I use Banco Ostro, I could get up to 1,200 or maybe it was 1,000 at a time by the ATMs, but that would have been $20 plus the taxi to get there and the taxi to go home. And that just, I didn't want to. So that is my hack. It gives me joy to know that I can now move money with no fees, moving my own money into my own bank account. But like I said, it also works when I'm sending money. If I need to send some money to someone who has a bank account here, I've had a couple of events and I was pulling from, I had something in my Venmo or something and I was moving it, or I haven't done that in a really long time now that I do most of my banking in Ecuador. But there are situations where that is important. So I hope this helps. If you don't fall into that parameter where you are living, where you have an actual bank account in that country, then this may not be relevant directly, but hopefully this will help you walk it through. Be patient with technology. If you have problems, like don't get worked up. Setting up new accounts, there may be security checks. So you may have different alerts that come up. Just call them. I think the companies on West Coast, maybe like San Francisco, don't hold me to that, but there's a customer service number, just call them. Sometimes it's security. When I was out of country, I got my Zoom account blocked. That's a whole nother story for a different day, but I got it blocked and I had to call them and work through trying to get it unblocked. I actually couldn't get it unblocked while I was leaving because I didn't give them sufficient information. And part of it, I think, was I was jumping location. I had a whole lot going on with that situation. But when I got back home, I was able to straighten out the security issues that I had created. It was me, and got my account back unlocked. So come to think of it, I don't know if I've used it significantly since then. Yeah, I have. So I don't know what this address thing is. I'll figure it out a different day. But that's my workaround. Be patient with technology. That workaround time that I took was worth 40 bucks. So for me, it was worth figuring out how to get it through. And yeah, that's what I got to share today. I gotta make sure my friend's got a link so that she too can walk through this process. And if you've got any questions, put them in the chat. If it's at a later date, I don't know if I can answer the questions, but if it's something within my wheelhouse of information and experience, I can share that with you. I'll get the alert and try to, answer any comments to the YouTube video if it's after the fact. Yeah, that's what I got. All right. Live life fully today. Have a great day wherever you may be. And now, how do I turn off the live stream? Take care.